Hello and welcome to Wildlife with Pete. It's been a lovely week this week. The sun's been out most of the week, so I've managed to get down and do some filming most days after work. So yeah, I've got a couple of clips all of sea life. So I've been coming down to the beach and seeing what I can see. Yeah, and managed to get some nice drone footage. So what I'm going to do, it's weekend now and I'm just down at Berube Beach. Gonna head and see if I can spot some whales on the drone. And yeah, hopefully we'll get some good footage today, and I'm gonna put it all together into this video. So it'll be a bit of a compilation of footage from this week, which yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy. And we'll see how we go today. So I've come to a new spot today, which is just at the end of Berube Beach. So this is Stockton Beach that you can see behind me with the sand dunes, and then Berube is the one just in the corner here. Yeah, so this outcrop is further south than the whale watching spot, which is just, you can see the point there, the rocky outcrop. That's in between here and the whale watching spot. And the whale watching spot is probably the best place to see the whales if you're kind of just watching them by eye or through binoculars or with a camera. But my reason for coming here specifically is because whenever you're over at the whale watching spot, you can always see the whales breaching, so coming out of the water before they get to the whale watching spot, so somewhere out there. I assume it's probably because the water might be deeper there, I'm not sure, but yeah, they always seem to be jumping out of the water and stuff in this area more. So yeah, I've come here hoping that it'll be a good place to fly the drone from and get some good footage. If not, we'll move along. There's plenty of whales coming through now, so I don't have to rush and just fly the drone over the first whale or pod of whales that I see. I can kind of just bide my time. There's a few out there already, and quite a few of them are jumping out of the water. You won't be able to see on this camera, probably. They're quite far out actually, probably about 900 meters. But some of them will look a bit closer. Yeah, but because there's so many coming through now, I can just kind of bide my time and wait for one that comes close enough to be able to fly the drone out and get some good footage. Yeah, so we'll see. But it's a beautiful day and there's no one else here at this point. So I think up to now, it's a good decision. And yeah, we'll see how we go. But there's loads of whales out there, so I'm just going to watch them through the camera and yeah, enjoy it. So the whales that I spoke about earlier, that I said were out there, and they're probably a little bit too far for the drone. They're going for gold. I've got the camera on them, so I'm recording some footage and I'll put it on just so you can see, although they are quite far away. But yeah, you can see them coming out of the water and they are just out jumping out again there, like all the time. This is the spot where they must be doing it most. But yeah, they're just too far away for the drone. There's one coming through, I've seen, I'm not sure where it's gone now, but it was quite close, so we'll see. He might move out to where them ones are as it comes past us. But yeah, we'll see. And also it depends how many whales there are. Obviously, if there's more than one whale, if you're in a pod or a group, there's more chance of them breaching, because they breach for a few different reasons, but communication is one of them reasons. So that can be communicating within the pod that they're in, or also obviously jumping out of the water like that and making that loud splash. They can communicate quite far, so long distance. And there's other reasons as well. Obviously they do it to see where they're going sometimes, for navigation and for hygiene. So it helps dislodge parasites and things like that from the body, and also just because it's fun. Yeah, you know, there's been loads of studies into why they do it, and sometimes they just do it because they can, and why not? You would if you was a whale, I bet. So I've just brought the drone back. I was cutting it close. To tell you what, I had probably 1% battery by the time it landed. It was beeping away at me. But it was worth it. I reckon I got some good footage. There was 2 humpbacks that I followed, and they stayed pretty close to the surface, so I could see them most of the way. They didn't breach, but that's all right. They were just happily swimming along. One of them was really white on the underneath as well, which obviously made it easy to see. It kept rolling over, but yeah, really white. Obviously it's not uncommon for humpback whales to have a bit of white on them. There was an all white one called Migaloo that was spotted off this coast, but I don't think that whale's been seen for a few years. Yeah, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's not been seen, unfortunately. But yeah, he's like Migaloo was his name. But yeah, I've got some good footage. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a little wander, maybe take some more pictures, enjoy the day, and then yeah, I'll head back. I'll put everything on a video, and I shall put it up for you now. Enjoy. So this footage of these just amazing giant marine creatures, I was lucky enough to get from my drone, and yeah, it's all filmed from the east coast of Australia, here in Nelson Bay where I live. And yeah, all these whales are obviously making their way up north, along what is known as the Humpback Highway, which is the migration route for these humpback whales that are currently making their way from their southern feeding grounds in the Antarctic waters up to warmer waters in the north, where they'll go to their breeding grounds. The footage shows 2 different pairs of whales over 2 different days, and you'll be able to tell specifically when you'll see the second pair, because one of the individuals is really white. It's actually got more white on its body than it has grey, which is normal for humpback whales. They've all got different patterns and variations of colour from white to grey, and actually, most importantly, the patterns on each individual's tail actually works much like a human fingerprint. So yeah, that allows us to be able to tell the difference between each individual. So we're currently in the height of the migration period for these humpback whales. So yeah, late June to early July is when we'll see the highest amount of humpback whales passing along the Humpback Highway. But the migration period runs from May to August, so through the winter months. And in that time, it's estimated that around 20,000 humpback whales will make their way to the northern breeding grounds, which is amazing. And what makes that even more just incredible is the fact that these humpback whales were once critically endangered and we're actually on the brink of becoming extinct due to being hunted by whalers. Yeah, and it's only thanks to conservation efforts that actually the numbers have risen. And now on the IUCN Red List, which is the list of the threat level for each animal, they're actually listed as least concern, so the numbers are healthy, which is amazing, and it's only thanks to conservation efforts. So projects like the Whale Sanctuary Project, which help create safe environments for whales where they can live freely in these sanctuaries. But also, things like entanglement response teams, so that if any whales get caught in nets, which they do, unfortunately, especially when they're making this migration, there's teams of people that will quickly respond and try and save these whales from being caught in fishing nets, which happens so much. It's not just to whales, it happens to all different animals as well. And then obviously things like marine protected areas, which are being set up now all around the globe. But the quicker that happens, the better. And these areas are like sanctuaries for marine animals, marine ecosystems. So things like whales can live and feed and migrate and breed in these areas safely. And then obviously things like research, which is always ongoing. And obviously as these whales are migrating now, there's lots of research happening, surveys on numbers, so we can get an accurate number as close as we can to the population. So there's lots of things happening which need to happen just to conserve the whales. But incredible to think that they've come so far after almost being just completely wiped off the planet, which is so sad to think. And obviously we can do our bit here as well. We don't all have to be scientists or fishing net entanglement response teams. We can do our bit on land as well to help save humpback whales. And not just humpback whales, but all of the marine life out there, just by making slight changes to our lifestyles. Obviously the main things being reducing ocean plastic, and all we have to do is be more mindful of our waste and reduce plastic that we use to keep the oceans more clean. And obviously probably the biggest one is reducing or completely stopping eating fish and all seafood. Obviously by doing that you're removing the competition for food out there in the ocean, so you're keeping the fish in the ocean, which is obviously going to be good for the marine life. And you're taking boats and ships off the water, so it's going to avoid collisions, and obviously stops things like bottom trawling, which is harmful for all life on the planet, not just the life in the ocean but for us as well. So by just stopping eating fish and all of the sea life, you're gonna save so many of these humpback whales and other animals out there. And that's something that you don't even have to move off your chair to do, and you can start today. And it's so important that we have these humpback whales and other species of whales as well out there in the marine ecosystem, because they are what we call ecosystem engineers, which means that these humpback whales play a crucial role in maintaining the health of the marine ecosystem, and because they feed on the krill and small fish, which helps regulate the population of these species and ensures a nice balanced food web. And then their very nutrient rich waste also supports the growth of phytoplanktons, which again help form a good foundation for the ocean's food chain and actually contributes significantly to carbon sequestration as well. So it's not just about having these whales out there because it makes us happy to see them swimming through the water like we are, but also they're helping combat climate change, which again isn't just for their benefit, it's for the benefit of the whole planet.